to go ahead and pick it all up. So we're going to have a crazy, crazy long stockpile here. So let's go ahead and get a list up of everywhere we want this to stop, because this is where things can really get complicated. Okay. Make this easy to read, but not impossible. So the things we need is we have a trade depot, which is going to be getting our brewable plants and barrels. Then we have our farms, which is going to be getting our brewable plants. Then we have our carpenter shop, where I make my wood barrels. I do make all of my barrels out of wood. Always. That's just a personal rule, personal preference. You don't have to by any means. There's plenty of other ways to store it. And then we have our stills, which is the eventual destination of all of this. Okay? So we have an A, a B, a C, and a D. We have a 4-part minecart. So for those of you that didn't see kind of my last fort and really start to learn, this could be diving in a little deep. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to go crazy, and we're going to have a 4-part stop. So what this is going to force us to do is, I was planning on just building my food industry tonight, but part of my food industry is my wood industry, right? So we have to get these barrels. We have to make these. So we're going to have to go ahead and we're going to have to do that. Now that's immediately going to force us, okay, now we've got to find a way to fuel those, and so we're going to have an input into the wood. And it's going to chain reaction, and it's going to help us determine, after we're done automating our food industry, what else needs to be automated. So starting tonight, we're going to start tonight by automating our subterranean farm. Then we're going to add our above ground farm, which shouldn't be too much more complicated, right? Then we're going to see where that goes from there, and look at how we could finish that out and really automate any other industries that deal with that. And then we're going to move into meat, okay, and then cooking, and then it just gets way out of hand. Okay. There we go. I've got to get better at this cam twist thing. Okay. So I don't know what's going on with our refuse thing there. I'm actually interested in fixing that. So let's go ahead and take a break here and solve that real quick. Okay, you pick that up. Now people are going to load that. Load, 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 load. They're loading it from this link stockpile here, for those of you that did not see me set that up. Okay, load, load, load. Yay, we got a horse bone table. All right. Something actually usable. Bone carver. I keep pausing because I'm waiting patiently for this minecart to get rolling. It's going to get pushed. It's not set to guide right now, it's set to push. And I'm wondering if there's something wrong with that, or if why it isn't working. So we're going to go ahead and keep letting this go. Shouldn't take too much longer here. God, the thing's got to be getting full. This is why we use minecarts, by the way. because they can hold all of this. And when you're going larger distances than a simple loop right there, like I will be eventually, I will extend this mine track. You can really start to save some time. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, why is there a chicken? Okay. I can see how a chicken would get trapped in there because it followed that guy in. Why is this taking so long? Oh, that's a valid point. We could check it. 9%! Okay, well thankfully it's set that every 10 days, so I don't know how many days it's been, but hopefully they'll push it soon. I could just go ahead and set it to guide. Set a push. Yeah, we'll go ahead and set it to guide for now. Push south. Oh, no, not guide. Guide south. Guide south always. Then we will set a new departure condition to guide north when empty always. Immediately. Okay. Okay, there we go. Advantage to guide, Horf. Guide allows them is done by dwarf power. So when you start to introduce changing in the Z level and you start to really go up and down ramps, if they pushed it and there's no one still pushing it, it's going to go up and then it's just going to roll right back down. It's going to get stuck. So guide allows them to cover that until you can set up power, which we'll be setting up power, I don't know, whenever I get bored of setting up routes. Check on our stuff out here. I don't know why that one keeps canceling, so we will just make it again. And granite. Helix, as far as I know, there is no miasma associated with minecarts. So I haven't had a problem with it. I also have my miasma being protected from expanding because of that beautiful cap that we put in. Right here, this bridge keeps the miasma from spreading. I am going to at some point need to make this, I wish that it had been exterior. So I am at some point maybe thinking of moving that up so that things can decay. But that's so not important compared to just getting food up and getting all my industry stable. Let's see how my mining's going. They're actually chugging along quite nicely. There is a cavern down in this direction, which is why I'm not just making that 3 wide the whole way immediately. Go ahead and mine out those 4. That's fine. I don't care. Mine it away. Clear that hole. I'm going to strip mine the shit out of that layer. Okay. So we made our list. We know what needs to be done. Now we just have to do it. I'm lost. So we know that we need our trade depot to integrate with this. And we only have so many shots at the plug here. So before we have to make another. So we very well may be making another plug at some point. I don't know if that one's big enough to get all the industries through it that we're going to need to. So we'll go ahead and see what happens here. And we need to plan out where our wood is. We need to plan out where all of our stops are. So we have stop A, which is here. And we know that that's going to be just above it, so I'll probably have it share. The brewable goods will just get brought down a floor to right here. And we have our final stop. And then we know everything else is going to be down below the plug. So we need something. We need a place for our carpenter shop to go ahead and set up shop here. I'm thinking the floor just below would work just dandy. Okay. So we have to think about what this entails and what, okay, so we're going to need, our carpenter is going to need a bedroom, right? And he's going to need an output, which will go to these wonderful tracks that go off in some pattern like that. He's going to need a workshop, which will be located in these 3 squares in the middle here. Okay, so he has, so he has his output. And what all does he output? Okay, because right now I have him doing a single output, which is fine. But what does he output? He outputs barrels. And that's great. All of our barrels are going to go to one place. That makes sense. But to think ahead, because to really automate, you need to be thinking ahead. You need to constantly know where you're going. He also automates beds, or he also makes beds, and he makes cages. Those are the 3 things I make out of wood, and I know that. So he actually has 3 things, so this design isn't going to work. Okay? So, we know he has cages, or we know he has barrels, excuse me, which are going to come in and go on their merry way. Doing 2x3s seems to be a good size, seems to work with my pacing. He's going to make beds, which are going to come in, and they're going to go on their merry way. And he's going to make cages, which are going to come in, they're going to go on their merry way. Okay? So now we have our 3 outputs that could possibly come out of this shop. Okay? And I only run with 1 carpenter. I've never had a problem. I don't really ever need more. I just don't make that much crap out of wood. So I only need 1 bedroom attached to this. And that way, my carpenter really should never need to leave here outside of food and drink, right? Which we'll get to a way to solve that later. Much later. If this fort even lasts that long. Okay, so we have our 3 outputs, and we have our dwarven labor taken care of. Everything is themed around this dwarf. What does he need? He needs food and drink, which can go along with his social aspect, head up to the surface, I don't care, take a break. He needs sleep, which he can do in this bedroom. He needs a place to send his goods, but I'm forgetting his input. Okay? So we're going to have a quantum stockpile of wood right here, with a door to it, which is going to come in, and as before, it's going to go on its merry way. Now you'll notice, as I plan my tracks, I always make sure they're only 1 square apart, right? And the reason I do that is because as we power these, you can put 1 gear on any one of these, and it can power a roller on both this side and this side. Okay? And actually, I think we have big enough room here. I think we're going to go with 3x3 bedrooms this time. Okay? There we go. And that is our basic wood shop. I mean,